Welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
And I'm Sharyn.
I don't know why I think that is so funny when we announce our names, but I do. I don't know.
Okay, we're just gonna keep rolling. All right, Rosa thinks it's funny.
I do. If y'all look back on the last videos that we recorded, you'll probably see me giggling after each time. But thank you and welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. We appreciate each and every one of you all every week with your comments, with your suggestions,
Yes.
with the love. Sometimes it's just love and we can feel it, and we thank you. And before we get into today's topic, I just want to give a couple shout outs as always. The first shout out is to our couple of our subscribers. Carolyn, we thank you. Thank you, and we appreciate your comments. And
Yes.
also, Bet on Pat. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your comments. And as always, Dr. Paulette Johnson in Petersburg, Virginia, on 91.3
All right.
WVST. So if you all get a chance to listen to that, remember they are 3 hours behind. So
They knew that.
if you get a chance to listen to that station, go
Tune
ahead
in.
and do that. Yeah,
Tune
please.
in. Mm-hmm.
Also, at the end of this video, if you like what you see, please share it with all of your friends. And continue to make your comments. We appreciate you guys.
And subscribe. Subscribe.
Most of
Please,
them are
for the new
subscribers.
folks. Subscribe.
Yeah, for the new folks.
Subscribe. Please. So, wow.
Subscribe.
So, Rosa's in a good mood.
I don't know if you can say that. I've had the longest week, but we're not going
Yeah.
to talk about that. But it's been a long week for me. So, a long weekend, I should say.
Yeah.
Been a long week. So.
And the time change, and
Yeah.
projects around the house and doing the yard, and you deserve to be tired. You really do. And me thinking
trying
that
to
I'm
make
the
it.
project manager, I'm not. I'm still tired too. She tired, I'm tired too. So, what's our subject for today, Rosa?
Oh, okay. I thought we were really trying to switch it up this week
And we
have
are.
her
We are.
Introduce the title, but
Please
I
do.
can definitely do that. So today's topic is when divorce is the answer.
Oh.
So again, when divorce is the answer. So what does that look like? We'll give you our views on what we feel like when divorce is the answer. And again, we are not professionals in any way.
We're just
we're
experts
giving
on our life.
Yeah, just giving you what we got from us.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
definitely you can take or leave our stuff.
Hey, I don't know about all that, but
take it or leave it.
we've been around, we've seen a lot of things, and we've met a
she's
lot of
been
people.
around.
Okay, this is going to be a hard one. Okay, so yes, today's subject is when divorce is the answer. How do you know? How do you know it's time to pack up and leave, sweetie? Done, over, finite. Okay, so before we even get there, I want to back up a little bit and bring you all back to lesbian land. I got a question for you. Why did you ever get married? When you really have, you got to think about that. I remember it was one great actress that died many years ago, and they said she had 5 husbands. And they said, why did you have 5 husbands? She said, because I married 3 men that I should have just dated. And I think women are doing some of the same things too.
Yeah.
But
I think before the law, when it comes to lesbian land,
that we could get
the
married
law,
legally.
you couldn't really get married if you wanted to. So that may have saved a lot of people. I know it saved Sharon, because she probably would have been 5 marriages too. But the fact that
Hold on,
now,
are we making it about me today?
well, it's always about you normally.
Okay.
So, but I think that did save, a lot of our lesbian relationships. But now that, we can, it's our right.
Everyone doesn't have to. How
It's
about
like
that? How about
when
that?
you do and it's not working out, then when is the answer, what is the answer after that, and that's what we kind of want to talk about today.
Yeah, and we're so proud and grateful and wonderful, that we can get married. And so many marriages, old school. That'd be me. I remember years ago when women were gay and they were still, most of us were still in the closet, but they'd live with their woman for 22, 32, 46
Yes.
years, and
I take my hat off to them.
and die together, and they could never get married, or they say like, okay, well, we've been together 36 years, let's get married, Mildred. And Mildred said, yeah, let's do that, because the world has changed, times have changed. But back on lesbian land, I will say that because we can get married doesn't mean that every couple should get married. And so when I'm asking you, why did you get married? I mean, we get married for a whole lot of reasons. It's very, very diverse. Hey, I'm lonely. I'm tired of being by myself. I want somebody to travel with. I want somebody to share my life after I retired at the age of 64. Da 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 da. Whatever your reasons are, and you know how we are, especially this generation and the generation coming up. Everything is accelerated because the world is accelerated. In lesbian land, we meet each other, and in 2 weeks we start those sleepovers, and then there's a toothbrush.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, I'm being kind. Then
Right,
your
because I know
toothbrush.
1 to 2 days.
Oh, stop. Well, that's Fast Annie here. Then you got a toothbrush in the bathroom. Wait a minute. And then you guys like, well, why don't you stay over and then, well, why don't we just live together and we could split rent, and then you go and it's like now y'all got matching tattoos and rings and and I'm like, how long y'all been together? Oh, 5 weeks. So I'm like, okay, and like I said, everything's
Look, a lot of things can happen in 5 weeks.
Right, that's right. That's right. And you get the U-Haul, now you're living together, and then you go out and buy her a high-end used car because her credit is better than your credit, and y'all move into a bigger place because she's got 3 dogs and you got a cat, and like zoom, all of this has happened in 7 months. You didn't even know each other. Truly, you couldn't. I mean, you know what you see and you know what you want to hear, but do you really even know each other? And then next thing I know, we're getting an invite to like somebody in Riverside County getting married. Rosa, we're going to a wedding this weekend. What?
Exactly.
Well, look, Rosa be like, what? They knew each other? They not only they know each other, they getting married. And it's not a criticism.
It can't be, because that's kind of what
we did. Right.
So.
It's not a criticism, but I'm just saying what we did, it's a little accelerated in our world. And why is that? Why do you think we go from 0 to 500 and you don't even know her middle name?
Yeah.
And we're not saying all of us. We're saying some of us, and truly too many of us. But why is everything, I got to do it right now. I just met her. And then, can you go on vacation with me? And whoa, back up. Take your time. And when we don't do that, I think it kind of accelerates things to sometime in a very negative way. Like, oh, I haven't even met her kids, but she's got 4 of them, and we're gonna be okay, and that's why we need a bigger place. You're gonna live with 4 kids, and you really all of a sudden how your world totally changes, because we are so wanting to have love in our life. So wanting to be needed, to be appreciated, to be hugged, kissed, wanted, desired, needed. We want company. So, as Rosa just blurted out a few minutes ago, we really cannot, not complain, but we can't crack on anybody because we did the same thing. Rosa, because we're part of lesbian land.
Exactly.
We met online. We start talking in February. March. We start talking to each other on the phone in March. Great conversations. Stayed on the phone hours and hours, and that was nice.
Met for the first time in April,
which happened to be the 19th of April, her birthday. Yep. So our first date was her birthday.
Yeah.
How smooth is that? So, and
by August
we were married. Okay.
So
now, as a couple of my friends will say, and if you're looking at the show, you know who you are. I said, well, me and Rosa getting married. They're like, wait a minute. I'm going to need a minute. Because what? And I was already 61. just that one. So and I said she's got 2 kids, and my friends are just like, we love you, Sharon. We'll support you, and we're gonna be at the celebration. But really, and they call me godmother because
she's the oldest
it
in the
fits.
group.
Let's just say it fits, okay? so godmother gets married to the wonderful Rosa, and we were just blessed. I take no claim to this other than the fact God must have wanted it to happen, and it's working. So 5 years later, we're still grooving. We're getting on each other's nerve, you know.
Big time.
Thank you, Rosa.
So we'll have to blame that on COVID because this year has been very challenging.
Yeah,
for us.
It really has.
So,
to everybody, to the world.
Yes,
to the world, you
yes,
know what I
yes,
mean.
yes.
So with that's our story. But back to the subject today and the question is, when divorce is the answer. So some of my, some of my little theory is, like I said, I just think sometimes we want love so much, we thirst for it. We go from 0 to 5,000, in 3 months, and you've seen it with your friends, you've seen it with your buddies, you've seen it with your exes, and and we're not saying it's a bad thing, but we need to really just kind of look at why the why is the what.
Yes.
Okay. Why the what is the why.
Yeah.
So what we're saying. So if divorce is the answer, let's back up to why did you even get married? So now you're married to this person that you've known all of 5.5 months. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're getting used to the children. You're getting used to her habits, her likes, dislike, her favorite color. Why is every room green when your favorite color is blue? And it's just amazing. 1,001 things that you need to know about each other and all. Mm-hmm. So if the courtship and all that part of the relationship was accelerated, don't you think once the blush is off the rose, as they say. Once that happens, you know who she really is, and she knows who you really are, and it might not be the fit that you thought. Now I've been to several of the weddings, and I'm pulling for you. We're wishing you the best, and I hope it really works. And me and Rose are going like, I hope it does, because we all deserve happiness.
Absolutely.
And then like, hey, come on down. You coming down for Pride? Bring Jin. That bitch.
Yeah. Or something.
Or something, like, and I'm like,
something improper now is gonna be called.
Yeah, and I'm like, what happened? They done broke up. They separated the household from it. The kids have been taken out of school, and all I'm saying, were y'all the same 2 people who were so in love just 3 months ago? So then
that's sad.
So with divorce is such a legal situation. You don't get to just have a suitcase drill and take your music and get on off the road. You are legally still binded with this person, mm-hmm. whom you had undying love for up to 31 days ago.
Right.
And I say 31 because now the rent's due again, and you ain't paying it.
So right.
So again,
I think some people too see divorce as just paperwork, because you can live together and do all the things that married people do and not have the paperwork. But I think when it comes to marrying someone, I think it has to do a lot with the business side of the relationship, because marriage is a business. Ooh. And if once you get married and it doesn't work out, then it's like, divorce isn't the first thing you're going to look at, because then you're kind of breaking up the business. So your first thing is like, what can I do to get this business afloat?
Right. And, make it work.
To put us back in the green, so to speak,
mm-hmm.
when you're in the red. But but
emotionally and financially.
Yeah, but mm-hmm. what happens when you're there? You know what I'm saying? What makes you say, I don't care if we go bankrupt, I'm out? You know what I'm saying? Ooh. What happens to that part of the business?
Right. Right.
And so for Sharyn and I, when I get upset with her about something major, not small stuff, just something major, you think about it and you're like, we didn't know each other very well. So maybe this is one of the parts that, she is now showing that I never seen. So the fact that I'm married to her now, it's like, I need to either accept that or not. I need to be okay with that or not. And is it that big of a deal
To dissolve everything.
we need to now file the paperwork? So it seems harder to go through a divorce than it is to even get married. So I don't want to go
marriage
through all
is the
that
dream, and I don't care whether you the film, the butch, the whoever you are. Who doesn't dream of a beautiful ceremony with the woman that they love? You know what I mean? And I know in my mind, I thought I'd be in Athens, Greece, or on a private beach in Maui, and just me and her and 5 good friends, and and the music playing softly. That's kind of I thought it was going to look like. It didn't. We got married at the Justice of Peace.
Yes, and it was very nice. I mean,
really?
For me, I had the big grand wedding before, and and that was nice too. And I mean, it just getting married was the decision that I was making. It wasn't like the childhood dream that
right.
Kids grow up with. There's some girls who playing out their stuff at age 10.
Right. Right.
I wasn't her.
And neither was I. And neither was I.
So when I got married, yeah, I mean, it was still very nice, and stuff like that. But even when we talk about when is divorce the answer, in that marriage, in my first marriage, with my children's father, my divorce was a little different. We really had grown apart. We really had. I met him when I was 20 years old, and at 20, I don't know what I wanted to do. Still didn't know, really. But I knew that by the time I was 40, I didn't want to be in this marriage because I wanted to live my true life. And I knew I was gay. And he was not a part of what I knew I was going to be.
But wait a minute, but Rosa, and yes, of course I know the story, but that's a 20-year length of time. When you say,
well, I've known him for 10, and we were married for 9.5.
Right. That's
10.
true, but that's still a chunk of time. So I'm saying, if you first time I met you and you came in my life, I was 20, and by the time I after the marriage, 2 children and a divorce, now it's 20 years later. No, you weren't married for 20 years, but you did a whole lot of growing and a whole lot of thinking,
and that is definitely it. And I got pregnant at age 30. So, by that time it was like, yeah, I think this is the right thing to do. So we did that, and that was a rush situation. Even though it turned out to be a great wedding, it still was a rush situation because at 4 months, I was 4 months pregnant, and we decided to get married. I was 6 months. So, yeah, 2 months planning. So even when we got to the end of that, I knew, for me, the decision wasn't even about a business anymore, because our business side of that had already gone downhill, and we probably had been bankrupt for years prior to. So it really wasn't anything else to do but go our separate ways. And I knew I was coming out. I was like, I'm not going to be living my next chapter of my life as a straight woman. I'm just not. So, I asked for the divorce, and that's kind of how that, came into play. But we both knew it was the answer. And that's one of the other things about divorce. So when one person kind of thinks it's the answer, but the other person is not even there, like, that's the conversation you need to have.
Right.
Some people are like, okay, well, I didn't know you even felt that way. Now they have a whole nother different way of thinking about you as a person, which kind of chips away a little bit, probably.
Right. And they're thinking everything's okay. Or if it's not okay, it ain't that bad. You're thinking divorce, and the other person is just like, well, we'll be okay. We'll take a vacation, and things will get better. Go, and so look, we're not suggesting divorce is the answer. I'm just going back in time and saying sometimes marriage is not the answer.
Right.
And
we're just asking, when is divorce?
And before and so why do people get divorced? Common knowledge says that the divorce rate is between 40 and 50% in America. So I'm sure they're talking about mostly straight people. So I'm saying I don't know what our divorce rate is amongst gay black lesbian.
I don't know either.
Black, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you I do it, but I'm just
saying.
Well,
if it's anything like the move in, move out rate, it's probably high.
Probably.
Because we move in and move out quick.
We get that U-Haul and it is on. And
Yes.
then you invite your buds over to meet the babe and da-da-da-da-da. And we got a new spot
We
now.
just ran into a friend who, well, she's more Sharyn friend than mine because I don't really even know
It
her.
always
but
comes
I
down to
met
that.
them through Sharyn, her and her partner, and we had seen them, at least 3 to 4 times prior to this together.
Socially.
So over the years, they were together. I know I met them at least 2 years ago. So I know they've been together at least 2 years. But saw one of them the other day at breakfast at a local dinery, and she was like, yeah, we're not together and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what makes people just all of a sudden get up and go? Like, what could be so bad, and definitely we didn't even get her side of the story. She didn't even go into it.
Not
she
our
was
business.
just saying,
And
right.
Yeah, right.
But, even if she had, my first thing would be like, well, it was 2 sides, because I'm sure she has a whole nother way of looking at it. And that's the whole thing. It's like two people that are in it together see it so differently and so separately. And it's like, that's why you have to have those conversations.
Right.
Because once somebody leaves, their whole story to the group is so different to your whole story.
Not
to the
that that's the
group.
biggest problem, but understand. I mean,
But it's a way of understanding where each other had seen the situation or the relationship.
Right. Well, I'm old school. I'm gonna tell you, back in the day, we're gonna break up. Give me my music. Give me my silk shirts, and you know what I mean. And everything I needed in life would fit into my little Mazda. Right, the world has changed. It's one thing just dating somebody. It's another thing having a one-on-one, and you have fun until it's good until it's no longer good. This is where you make a right-hand turn and I make a left.
Yep.
All right, but what you did differently this time is you got married. The only thing we're talking about this morning is just that perhaps we need to give it much more thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everybody wants whatever normal is. Nothing's normal. Yeah. You are unique. We're unique.
Also in a society where everything is so instant. Everything is microwavable. If you can't get it done in 60 seconds or less,
you're bored. It takes too much time.
On, and it's we need to. I think when it comes to a big decision such as marriage and divorce, we definitely need to think about that and think of where that person is on all levels, not just okay, she's cute and she's got the bomb dig body and we connect. Well, how do you connect?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
makes
what
very
do you
good
connect
French
on?
toast.
Exactly.
She makes good French toast.
Because you don't know your disconnects until at least a year or 2 into the relationship. When you've seen them upset, then you know how they handle stuff.
Oh.
When you've seen them down and out, then you know how they handle stuff. And when you travel with them, like those are the main 3. If you can travel with somebody, y'all are probably good to go.
And see, and like we're not acting like we're living in some gilded cage of wonderfulness out here. We're not. Rosa and I, we've had our bumps, and like I said, we don't practice our conversations. But yeah, I had thought that if things really don't go my way, I said, what would happen? I said, I can't just leave this woman. We can't just dissolve the finances in 1 month or 2. We can't. This is serious. You know what I mean? What will my life look like if I divorce this woman? Which means I'm staying. But seriously.
Really? That's the reason you stay?
It's cheaper to keep her, right? No, but I'm just saying.
Up.
No,
That's jacked up. Y'all know that too.
Right? No, I'm just.
Okay.
All I'm saying, on a serious note, I'm just saying, dude, we're not playing for funsies. This is real. You know what I mean? I'm 65. This is not a drill. This is my life. It ain't no like, well, I'm mad at you, so I'm moving back to Georgia. No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean,
you moving, then I'm coming with you.
Right. Because she was talking about moving down south, and I'm like, what part of the south? Please, not Georgia. Please, not Florida. You know what I mean? And then I'm thinking, and I remember telling her when we first got together, I said, I don't care where we live, as long as it's in San Diego. Yep. And she bought into it, right? So here we are in San Diego. I've been here for over 40 years, and I love it. And I just don't see me relocating. But guess what? If Sweetie say that's where we're going, I'm going with my lamb chop. You know what I mean? What, Sharon left. She left California. Yeah, girl, she's somewhere in deep Alabama. She must love that Rosa because they blame everything on
Everything.
Rosa, right? So, but what we're
I
saying,
just take it with a grain of salt. It's
Right.
okay. I know your first initial heartbeat is to Sharon, so I'm the
Aw.
second heartbeat. So I get it.
no. So, but so all we're saying, I mean, as you know, black lesbians, just women in the world, whether you live in lesbian land or not, marriage is it's a serious commitment,
Yes.
and I when I see my friends marrying people who they should just be dating,
Yeah, but it's not
it hurts me.
it's not your responsibility to think that they should just be dating somebody.
No. I think
That's
we all
not-
get no. Do your thing, live your life. But but you we've all had friends, and you see two of them hook up together. I'm like, that's not even gonna last to the 4th of July.
And it may not. But it's just not your
No, it's not my call.
Okay,
But
okay.
we can talk about folks who we got a show. We're talking about folks this morning.
I mean, I'm sure people talk about us too. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not-
joking, but I'm not. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying we are. I mean, we've all seen it. That's what I'm saying. We're not poo-pooing marriage. I am a proponent of marriage. I love seeing people fall in love. I love love. I'm a romanticist. But there is a business component to all connections.
Yes.
And that business component is, yes, you found the lamb chop of the universe and you want to be with her, and y'all done threw y'all names down in a legal sense and traded rings and combined finances and all that. Sweetie, I hope it lasts because
Yeah.
what they say, you don't know your lover until she leaves you.
And before
Ooh.
you even think about is divorce, no, the answer, I would just think about what is it that I myself can do to maybe, do something different so divorce is not the answer. I'm going to exhaust all of
Your
my
avenues.
resources, my avenues and all of that before it comes down to that. And that's kind of what I did in my first marriage. It was like, every time I looked at something, it was just like, no, that's not going to work.
No.
That not
No,
either.
it's really not going to work.
Yeah, I think divorce is the answer. So, some things is just going to be a no all the way around. But like I was saying earlier, when you look at it in a business sense, if you owned a business, wouldn't you do all that you could do to keep it afloat?
Yes.
So
yes.
that's kind of how you kind of go and try to look at it if that's where you are.
Right.
Do all you can do
To save
keep
the
it
marriage,
afloat.
but on the same on that same continuum to the far left is, if divorce is the answer, that's where you're going.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid of that, because I don't want to
Absolutely.
leave her, and she's somewhere in a parallel universe saying, I'm done with her. Right. So look, truly, there's a gap. There's a gap. So
And don't stay for frivolous reasons. Just
what's a frivolous reason? Because sometimes people just stay for
because the kids aren't old enough to understand, or you want to stay because you don't really have enough money. What is enough money? You're gonna be okay if you by yourself. Trust me.
I like
thought
the
same.
condo. I like this condo.
But I thought the same thing, like my first marriage, because, the kid's father was paying the majority of the stuff. And I'm just like, well, how can I survive? I didn't have to get a roommate. I had 2 children. I did what I had to do. And you can do what you have to do too, if that's, where you're going. But don't let the small things be a reason. Just don't. If you love them, stay. If you don't come with 9 other things, the reason why you can't, because you used to getting your hair done every 2 weeks and now you won't be able to.
Right.
You won't be able to.
Right. Not to mention the nails.
Exactly.
And
So some stuff you're going to have to give up. I gave up a lot of stuff. We were eating, grilled cheese sandwiches, and we just had to eat grilled cheese sandwiches.
It happens like that sometimes, it does. And, so what we're saying, your takeaway today, if you will, to consider, look at your friends, look at your own situation, and, like I say, everyone's not having that wonderful life, and you guys have been on the skids for the last 18 months, if not 3 years, and everyone's threatening, I'm going to leave, I'm going to divorce her, and all that. Well, sweetie, the door is not nailed down. Do what you got to do. But of course, what keeps us there is fear.
Yeah, definitely.
Fear.
Well, and
fear,
that's the whole thing.
fear
You
is
get
that
fear of
if I let her go, who gonna love me? Well, somebody may love you better, but but you up here with this orangutan, trying to profess your love to a knucklehead, and it's draining her, it's draining you. It is not a good fit, as my friend D. Sanford would tell me. It's sometimes it's just not a good fit, and be aware of that. Be strong enough, be brave enough to call it like it really is. I mean, look at the people who've come through your life already. Just look at the last 4, 5, 7, 3, 2, whatever number of people who made your heart go boom, pitter patter. And can you imagine yourself being married to them? Can you imagine being married to them and the marriage work? And so many reasons why we go into the marriage, and it's so many reasons why we kind of resist coming out of it.
yes.
All I'm saying, just give it the grand amount of thinking that one should attach to such a serious scenario as marriage. I have no regrets. I don't know if I would have been a good wife at 30, because I was out there. I was one of the original wild women from Philadelphia.
In the wild west.
Right. Then I went to
somebody
to
said
LA.
that in a comment.
Right.
Back in the day, it was the wild west.
Exactly. Then I, transplant to LA, which I was wilder, So, no regrets, had fun, don't owe nobody no change. But I'm at a different time in my life. I see things differently.
Yes.
And as I tell people, they say, well, why did you marry Rosa? And I say again, I had a list. And Rosa was 11 of the 10 things that I asked God to provide in my life. But when I saw her and met her, I got the nerve to say, oh my God, she's too young. Really? Be specific with your prayer. I was specific, but I don't remember.
You didn't put an age in there.
I didn't put an age in there. I didn't say.
Like, I want her to be this, and this.
And not a day passed. I thought I would, marry someone closer to my age. I thought I'd be, married to a 55, 60-year-old person, because when her knees be hurting, mine be hurting too. So we understand.
She's saying that, but that is not the truth. How you gonna be married to somebody that young when you wasn't even dating folks that young?
That young or that old?
Well, yeah. Well, they would have been younger than you, but you were dating younger. So yeah, I guess that old.
Well, you gotta stay in shape.
55 would have been too old for her, so I don't even know why she even going there.
I'm not sure all of that is true, but the bottom line, it got worked out. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. So again, how do you know when divorce is the answer? I think you already know the answer. Mm-hmm. You just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Because we know, just like when it's the right thing to do. You know it. Listen to,
that inner voice.
That inner voice, absolutely. Listen to it.
Because when you know that you know that you know that you know.
Mm-hmm. It's time to go.
It's a no.
Yeah, it is. So, not to bring you down, because next week we're going to be back on the happy train. But we just got to keep it real. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I said, sometimes so many divorces because there's too many marriages that weren't thought out at all. But we learned something new about each other. Yeah. But definitely blessed in all of this.
Yes,
blessed
absolutely.
In all of this. And
absolutely.
We take nothing for granted. But I'm telling you, we always, we're wishing you the very best
of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke, and we're wishing blessings to you too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.